It's okay to fuck up at times. It is okay to not be perfect. It is okay if sometimes you fall off the wagon. It's okay if you don't have everything figured out, if you don't know what the next steps are, or even if you took some steps backwards. When you are on the journey of self-development, of learning to love yourself, of learning to grow, of wanting to expand, of wanting to give yourself a better life, when you're trying to achieve certain goals, when you're trying to better yourself, to give yourself a better life, to make better choices, whether it is you trying to no longer indulge, let's say, in drinking or using substances like smoking, whatever it is for you. Maybe it is about not going back to toxic people anymore. Maybe it's about not tolerating less than you deserve. Maybe it's about not eating so many sweets and not eating poorly. Junk food, food that you know don't actually fulfill you. Maybe for you, this is simply about staying consistent at the gym, but you find yourself going back. You find yourself not being consistent. You find yourself going back to the toxic people, going back to the old habits. In a way, it may feel like you're reverting, and that is okay in this journey of growing, of becoming. I feel like a misconception as you are trying to better yourself. Again, maybe you're trying to become a healthier version of yourself, more disciplined, more organized, more consistent. A misconception is that it's a straight line, and we tend to get discouraged. We tend to get even upset at ourselves when we mess up, when we revert back. Let's say that you've been going 2 months without drinking alcohol, or without smoking, or without contacting that one person you know you shouldn't be contacting. And then today you happen to slip up. You happen to contact that person because you were missing them, or you happen to go out with friends and have drinks, or you happen to pick up that cigarette or that, and you indulge in that for today. It's okay. That doesn't mean that you have messed up. That doesn't mean that you are no longer in the right path. It doesn't mean that you are returning to your old self. That does not mean that you are failing. That does not mean that you are incapable. It does not mean that you can't keep pushing forward. Again, it's not a straight line to get from, let's say, an old version of yourself to your higher version. It is a process in which you are learning. Every single choice that you make is only an opportunity for you to grow, for you to learn, and to redirect you. That's all it is. It's just, let's say, a little bump on the road. It's a little detour, but you're still heading in the right direction. Because guess what? The next time, you're going to think about it deeper. You're going to pause for a moment and question and think, okay, I know this is not what I should do. Even if it takes you 3, 5, 7, 10 times of trying. It's okay to try again and again and again, to get up and learn from the last time. Because every time you'll only be a step closer to that version of you that you know you can be, the version of you that does not self-sabotage, that does not indulge in things that do not bring them fulfillment, that are only temporary. Because at this point, you probably know that these things that you no longer want to be part of, or things that are only temporary. They might bring you happiness for a moment. They might be exciting, it might feel good to be around that person that isn't good for you in that moment. It might be good to consume alcohol. It might be good to stay at home watching TV instead of going to the gym. It feels good in that moment. It's some sort of comfort around that. There is some sort of familiarity with that. And that's part of the old you. So it makes sense that you want to go back to that. It makes sense that it is challenging and hard for you to fully move forward. And the other thing that I want you to remember with this, my beautiful friend, is that you've been this way, right? The old version of you, you've been that version for how long? Years. The majority of your life, you have been conditioned to think that way, to be in that comfort zone, to be familiar with that. That is who you have been for a long time. So becoming someone new with new habits, with more discipline, is not going to happen overnight. But it is so important that you are patient, compassionate, graceful, and kind to yourself as you grow. And that is the message for you today. That is the divine guidance, the message, the reminder that you need to hear, is to be compassionate of yourself as you become the version of you that you know you're meant to be. As you leave behind all that does not serve you, as you release the old and invite in the new, is that it's okay to mess up. It is okay to go back to those habits. It is okay to try again, to get up and say, you know what? This doesn't stop here. And although sometimes it can be discouraging, and sometimes we're a little tough on ourselves when we do mess up, when we go back, be compassionate with yourself, specifically in that moment. That is the moment in which you will say, you know what? It's okay. I get to try again. I'm learning. I'm adapting. I can keep pushing forward. Remind yourself in those moments of who you are and how kind you should be to yourself, specifically in those moments. Give yourself the space that you need and keep pushing forward. Just keep swimming, as I like to say. This is for those of you that find it difficult to stay consistent, that find it difficult to see through a vision and to keep pushing forward. That it's not a linear line, and that does not mean that you're on the wrong path. And you know it deep in here. You're making uncomfortable and very tough decisions for yourself. You're making decisions that are going to align you with your highest timeline, that are going to align you with better people, better opportunities, a better life. So you just keep going, keep being that resilient, perseverant person, beautiful being that you are. My beautiful friend, I will see you in the next video. See ya.